What is going on, pals? Welcome back to yet again another video, and for today we're going to be talking about combat rigs in competitive. Infinite Warfare, of course. If you guys haven't already been playing the beta, it's been going on throughout this week. I believe we're also going to have it next weekend as well on both Xbox and PS4. This current weekend, it's just on PS4 exclusively, obviously, due to the rights that they have, with the game and whatnot. So, obviously, I made my video a couple days ago talking, actually, I think it was like yesterday or the day before. Anyway, kind of just giving my brief synopsis or just my overall thoughts on the beta up to that point. Which, if you guys are curious, I'll link it on screen right now and you guys can go back and watch it. It is like literally from the first day, and of course things can change. I have different opinions today than I did yesterday due to the fact that obviously it's a beta and it literally just came out, Friday. So this has kind of been like a hot topic amongst the Call of Duty community. Everyone's asking, specialists to Black Ops 3, whether you were for them, whether you were against them. I think generally, though, it was a good concept. I think the idea of specialist in Call of Duty is something that's actually a really cool idea. Granted, it might not have worked out the way that everyone thought that it should, or you might think that certain things are too easy to use. What? Everyone's going to have their opinions on it, and I can totally understand where people are coming from when they say, getting a heat wave or getting a kinetic armor or something like that. It really just isn't Call of Duty-esque. But people do have to realize, as time does go on, is that Call of Duty is evolving. Whether we like it or not, Call of Duty is evolving. There's going to be some things that we do like. There's going to be a lot of things that it seems that the Call of Duty community doesn't like. I'm hoping, obviously, that combat does go back to the ground. I think there's like a lot of little things that the developers are kind of realizing after a few years that, hey, we should kind of go back to what everyone's wanting, But specialists and whatnot, this idea of specialists, I think is a really, really good concept. I think if you look at the basis of what they're trying to do, it's a really, really cool idea. I just think that Black Ops 3 kind of hit it head on, and it wasn't exactly what everyone was hoping. Maybe if we had like a little bit more of a dormant type of beginning where specialists were good, they just weren't that useful, and then people were saying, well, these aren't that great, why don't we just use them over again, or why don't we try to upgrade these things? Because if they would have done that, most likely the Call of Duty community, we wouldn't have even used the specialists, and they would have just kind of been worthless. So Black Ops 3 kind of went out on a limb and tried those things out. And I think generally, like I said, I think it's a good idea. I think the idea of specialists are good, but it's under certain circumstances. So, that was kind of like a very long preview to what we're going to be talking about. But of course, for those who don't know, specialists now in Infinite Warfare, we have things known as combat rigs. I believe there are currently 6 combat rigs available as far as the beta is concerned. We have Warfighter, Merc, Synaptic, FTL, Striker, and Phantom that are able to use right now in the game. Of course, I think the level cap's at 30 right now, so I think you have an opportunity. I've been able to play with every single one of them, and I'm going to be posting gameplay and doing videos like this every other day or something like that to kind of talk about my thoughts on the game so far, and posting it with multiple different ones. I think in this game I'm using Synaptic, and I'm also using Reaper, which is actually a really good kind of thing to transition into for a number of different reasons, because there are many rigs in this game that are pretty easy to use, to say the least. Of course, like I said, this is a beta, right? Take into consideration, for those who remember, the Black Ops 3 beta was totally different compared to the actual Black Ops 3 game. One thing was the Razorback, right? The Razorback was an incredible weapon. Like, literally, it was absolutely absurd what you could do with it. Literally, no recoil. It was like an AR SMG mix. And then now it's like maybe the 4th, 5th preferred SMG in the entire, weapon selection. So anything can happen, right? Same thing with Specialist. Of course, that was kind of like a newer thing. But in this game, payloads, those could be reduced. I don't know how they could be reduced, especially regarding some of them because of their overall basis of what they do. But we'll talk about them, right? So there are a few things that I want to talk about, certain rigs in this game that we have that I think are kind of overpowered at this moment. One of them is obviously Synaptic's Reaper. I'll try to put some gameplay of that. I know I've been playing him a lot, which basically turns you into a little robot dog, and you can literally run around the map, and you can get like 5 or 6 kills pretty easily. If you know how to use the movement correctly. I think I saw a play from like Minx, who, if you guys don't know, she's a really, really cool streamer. She had posted a gameplay where she literally got like 13, 14 kills in a row with this thing. And it was absolutely absurd. So I think the timer's going to go down for a lot of these things, but just generally, I feel like Infinite Warfare is just kind of toying with our emotions. It's like, let's put a little like robot dog in this game and have it just run around. It's going to be difficult to kind of commentate over that from my perspective. Like, as far as like, COD casting and whatnot, like he's always bringing out the Reaper. and he's gonna chase this guy. You know, it's just I don't know. It's kind of weird to me. I'm not really sure. Things like Warfighter's Claw, it's literally probably one of the easiest weapons of all time in Call of Duty history to use at the moment. You have FTL's Eraser, which basically, if those who don't know, it's like that little pistol that you like, you know, point to the side, and you basically literally erase the enemy. And it's kind of like the Annihilator alternative for Infinite Warfare, but you don't actually have to reload. You don't have a reload animation, so you can spray anyone down with it. You have Striker's Gravity Vortex, which essentially I believe like that black hole thing or something along those lines. And that's the thing, right? Trying to tone these things down, I can imagine a few of them. Like maybe for Reaper, he runs a little bit slower, or something like that. And maybe you tone down his movement a little. For the Claw, maybe takes a little bit more bullets to do damage or something like that. Maybe for the Eraser, you know, make it have a reload animation. And for the Gravity Vortex, though, I mean, when you literally have a weapon that is meant to put in a black hole in a map, I mean, you put that on a hard point, that's a guaranteed 3-4 kills. It's just, there's a lot of little things that we have in the game right now that it's hard to look at and say, how are they going to fix that? Or how are they going to make that level? How are they going to make that mesh with one another? And to me, like I said, in Black Ops 3, there were so many things that people were just refusing to use. Vision Pulse was one of them. Kinetic Armor was another one. You can just really name Active Camo was another one for a while. Everyone was so against using these things. And I feel like toward the latter parts of the game, you know, once those things were kind of forced upon us, we kind of got used to them, right? We started to develop strategies. Vision Pulse, you use this on this certain map. You use it on CTF. You use it on Search and Destroy. You don't really use it in respawns. And like I said, of course, the meta changed throughout the entire year, but I like the idea of having something extra in the game that allows players to transition a little bit differently. However, though, there is one problem that I think could happen with competitive Call of Duty and the specialist or the rigs, whatever, combat rigs so far up to this point, is the fact that you can literally switch your rig mid-game. Now, personally, this is a major deal breaker for me because I feel like if they are so flimsy that you can constantly change them, that automatically takes away from the customization of it, so that rigs are kind of like another perk. That's just the way that I look at it, because if you can literally change it, it's kind of involved with your created class. It's no longer what sets you apart from your enemy. It's no longer what sets you apart from your teammates. It's literally, we're using this thing for a certain hill. I'm just saying, can you imagine, right? Can you imagine if someone had Striker's Gravity Vortex? I know that sounds really weird to say, but if you had 4 black holes and you just fire that on a hard point, can you imagine if you have the 4 little dog things running around? It's just, there's so many little opportunities that I can see that could really make this game not as fun from a competitive standpoint. And I'm kind of just thinking maybe we should just kind of do away without them, you know? There's obviously traits. For those who don't know, there's 3 different payloads. There's 3 different traits that you can get along with each combat rig, which is kind of a cool, you know, little idea. I'm glad that there's actually more than just 2 options. There's actually something else like a trait. I'll be talking about traits a little bit later. I do have a major opinion on those as well. But guys, feel free to let me know down in the comments. What are your guys' thoughts on the combat rigs up to this point? And of course, like I said, it is a beta, right? It is a beta. Things can be toned down. Things can be brought up. Things can overall be completely changed once the original game comes out. But I'm just trying to speculate, as far as competitive is concerned, how are these things going to be used? Because I just feel like they designed this game for the public players, obviously. And I feel like they designed them a lot for respawns, right? They designed a lot of these just for respawns. Like, I don't feel like they put Search and Destroy in their front mind. And the fact that we haven't had Search and Destroy yet as a game mode playable in the beta kind of worries me a little bit. Because if you think of things like Glitch, I don't know the exact name for it, but I know it's in one of the specialist abilities that you can use, or the rig abilities. Or payloads, excuse me. I got used to saying that. And one of the payloads. But essentially, the glitch in this game literally lets you reset your entire ammo count, which to me automatically goes to show that they don't have Search and Destroy in mind. Why? Because it doesn't matter with Search and Destroy if you have ammo recounted, right? There's like little things like that that just goes to show to me that they're really heavily focusing on the ground combat that's constantly going on. You know, rapid fire, getting in a gunfight every 3-4 seconds. And everyone knows the speed of this game is absolutely absurd right now. So, guys, like I said, let me know in the comments. What are your guys' thoughts so far as the combat rigs are? Would you like to see them in Black Ops 3 and Infinite Warfare? You know, obviously the transition over from Specialist, I know it's gonna be a little bit different. I just feel like these aren't as customizationable. I feel like the overall look of them, to me, up to this point, they're not super different from one another. They don't really have like a standout thing. That's why I love the Specialists from Black Ops 3 as far as the customization is considered, because everyone looked different. I could look at you from a mile away in Call of Duty terms, right? And I can know exactly who you were. In this game, maybe it's just because the character design, maybe I'm not used to them, but some of them kind of look exactly alike, right? I mean, looking through the menus and whatnot, FTL looks a lot like Striker. Striker looks a lot like Warfighter. Merc's a big guy. Synaptic's a robot, and Phantom has a ghillie suit, right? Like those are the only ones that really kind of stand out. Plus, they all kind of have like a similar tone to them. There's not like a red Heatwave guy. There's not a bright gold kinetic armor player running around, right? To me, it's just the customization has kind of been brought down a little bit, and I feel like they're all kind of doing a similar thing, right? That's just my opinion, though. Feel free to let me know what you guys' thoughts are down in the comments below. Would you like to have combat rigs in competitive Call of Duty? However, keep in mind, this is very, 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 very early stuff that we're talking about, but it is time to start talking about these things because, hey, the game's not too far away from coming out. I mean, the beta's here. We got a few more days left of the beta, at least from the time that I'm recording this, plus next weekend, so let me know down in the comments, guys. If you guys would also like to, make sure to leave a like and also subscribe for future content. Thank you guys so much for watching. More content to be coming soon. I'll see you guys later. Have a great day.